Okay, so we have a question here that asks us, so we're looking at the Edco A question 4. So this is a question about statistics. So statistics, and in particular, it's a question about what are called measures of central tendency. Now, that's another way of kind of saying, well, what's the average of a group of numbers? So there's 3 measures of central tendency. We're going to talk about the mean, the mode, and the median. Now, what are each of those? Well, the mean, first of all, is where you add all the numbers and divide by the numbers of numbers, which is basically the traditional average that we would generally talk about. Add all the numbers, divide by the number of numbers. What's the mode? Well, the mode is the most common. And then the median is the middle number when you rank the data from the lowest to the highest. So we'll just put in a quick definition here. The mean is the sum of the numbers over the amount of numbers. The mode is the most common. And then the median is the middle when the data has been ranked, when data is ranked. Now, sometimes if there is an even number, there won't be an exact middle, and it'll be the average of the 2 middle numbers. But we'll talk about that as we look at the questions. So the first question is, write down any 2 different sets of 4 numbers with a mean of 8. So what do we know? We know we have 4 numbers and they have a mean of 8. So if their mean is 8, that means the average is 8 of the 4 numbers. So 4 times 8 is equal to 32. So I just have to write down 2 different sets of 4 numbers that add to 32. Because when I divide 32 by 4, I get 8, which is the mean. So it doesn't matter what you do. You could put down 0, 1, 2. That adds up to 3, so that would leave 29 left to give 32. So those have an average of 8. Or I could just pick 8, 8, 8, and 8. The mean of those 4 numbers is 8. And there's lots of different answers to a question like that. Okay, so as long as your 4 numbers that you've picked have added up to 8, that's correct for the first question. Now, work out 2 different sets of 4 numbers with a mean of 8 and a mode of 4. So this time they still have to add up to 32. 4 8s is 32. But now this time we have to have a mode of 4. So the most common has to be 4. So I would do that by just placing 2 4s in the center. They're the most common. I'm going to put any other number underneath that. So I could pick 1 or 2. I'm just going to put 1. And then if I add 1 and 4, that's 9. And what's left to make up 32? Well, 23. Now, the 4 of those add up to 32. 32 divided by 4 is 8. So the mean of those is 8. And the mode, the most common, is 4. Another way of doing it is I could say, well, if the most popular number is 4, let's put down 3 4s. 4 and 4 is 12. What's left to add up to 32? 20. So there's another set of numbers where the mode is 4 and the average or the mean of the numbers is 8. Part C, what are 4 numbers with a mean of 8? So I'll stop there for a second. Again, 4 8s is 32, so the sum of the numbers is 32. The mode is 4, so the mode is 4, and the range is 15. And we didn't talk about the range yet, but let's talk about the range. The range is the difference, so we'll get the green again. The range is found when you get the highest number and you subtract the lowest number. So it's the difference between the highest and the lowest number. So we're told that the difference between the highest and the lowest number is 15. The most common number is 4 and the average is 8. So this is a little trickier. A question like this sometimes involves what's called trial and error. So we might try something and see if it works. If it doesn't work, we can go and try something else. So for example, when I did this question originally, I tried 4 and 4 as the mode. They're the 2 most common numbers in my set of 4 numbers. And I put them down in the middle. And then I knew that I had 4 and 4 is 8, subtracted from 32. 32 minus 8 is 24. I knew I had 24 left for the first and the last place. So this could be 1 and then 23. But the range wouldn't be 15. 1 and 23 has a range of 22. And so I would have to go and try something else. I could try maybe 3. And there would be 21 left. And what's the range between 3 and 21? Well, 18. And that's not 15. And I tried a number of different things and I couldn't get the range to be 15. And what I realized was that the two 4s could be the mode, fair enough, but maybe the 4 is the lowest number. And so if I have 4 and 4, there's 24 left. Now I could try 5 and 19. 5 and 19 is 24, plus the 4 and 4 is 32. That works. Now, what's the difference between the lowest number, 4, and the highest number, 19? Well, 15. So the range is 15. So the mode is 4. The mean is 8. If you divide 32 by 4, you get 8. And the range is 15, and it works. And it took a bit of trial and error to get that answer. There wasn't one method that I could have tried initially that just would have worked straight out of the box. The last part is find 4 numbers with a mean of 7. So this time the mean is 7. What does that mean? Well, 4 numbers times 7 is 28. The 4 numbers have to sum or add up to give us 28. It has a mode of 8 and also a median of 8. What does that mean? Well, because there's only 4 numbers, the most common number is 8 and the middle number is 8. Now, if the middle number is 8, there's 2 possibilities. Either the second and the third numbers are both 8, in which case the median, which is the average of those when there's an even set of numbers, that would be 8. Or we could have 7 and 9 here, in which case the average of 7 and 9 is 8 and the middle of those would be 8. But if that was the case, well then 8 wouldn't be a number in the question, and so we couldn't have a mode of 8. So I'm going to guess that the 2 middle numbers must be 8. And let's use that as a starting point. So we have 8 and 8. Now, the mode is 8. The median, which is the average or the middle of those 2 numbers, is 8. And then I just need 2 numbers, the first and the last number, to complete a set of 4 numbers that add up to 28. So if I add 8 and 8, I get 16. So there's 28 altogether, minus the 16 is 12 left. And how can I fix 12? Well, there's lots of ways. I'm going to do 2 and 10. But I could also have 1, 8, 8, and then what else? 2 and 10 add up to 12, but 1 and 11 also add up to 12. So there's a number of different possibilities. And so my answer, let's keep it as 2, 8, 8, and 10. So it seems to me that there's multiple answers for part A, B, and D, and that there's only one possible answer for part C. Okay, so that's a nice question on statistics, but tricky enough. A lot of people can find the mean, the mode, and the median, but it's a bit more difficult when you're given those things and you have to figure out what the numbers in the data set is, or what are the numbers that make up different means, modes, and medians.